We all want to get bigger muscles, but we don't want to get fat when doing it. We don't want to gain fat and cover all the muscle up that we've just built on a bulk. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build muscle without getting fat and staying lean. Right at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you the number one mistake people make when bulking up, and I'm also going to list out a training plan for you based on whether you're a beginner or you're a little bit more advanced. If your goal is to build muscle or lose body fat, subscribe to this YouTube channel because that's what we teach here. I'm going to split this up into 7 easy tips to follow, and then we'll go all the way down to number 1 right at the end. The number 7 point that I want to make is we are going to gain body fat. When we bulk up, when the goal is to build muscle, we are definitely going to put some body fat on. That's totally inevitable. However, the goal of this is to put on as little body fat as we can whilst we're on a bulk. It's not to completely not put any body fat on, it's to put as little on as we can whilst we're bulking. You need to know how much weight you plan to gain each month. So I like to split it up into months, that's the easiest way to do it. What I say is aim for 1 pound of body weight per month. There's no point in putting 5 pounds on in 1 month because you can't gain 5 pounds of muscle in 1 month. Aim for about 1 to 2 pounds of body weight per month. 1 pound of that would hopefully be muscle. You might gain slightly less than that. I mean, that's still an ambitious goal to gain 1 pound a month, even though that is the common theme in the fitness industry. It's still not that easy to do that. So the other pound would be coming from fat. So you're only gaining 0.25 pounds of body fat per week. That's the layout I would go with if you're bulking for maybe up to 3 months. If your goal was to bulk only for maybe 3 to 4 weeks, then you might want to up that to maybe 3 pounds in that 1 month period. So you're aiming to gain about 3 pounds there. Point number 6, and ways to stay lean whilst you're bulking, is first of all, make sure before you go on a bulk, and I'm trying to set this up for you, not just jumping straight into the tips, is make sure you're under at least 20% body fat. Ideally you want to be under 15% body fat before you start bulking. If you want to know what that looks like, just go on the internet and type in body fat percentages. They won't be exactly accurate, it'll just give you a rough guide as to what body fat around you might be, give or take a few percent. You don't want to start a bulk if you're overweight or you're above a certain body fat, because all you're going to do is, yes, gain more muscle, but you're going to just put more fat on top of the body fat you already have. If you do that, you could put 5 pounds of muscle on and barely even notice it, because you're covering that muscle up with all the extra body fat. So the leaner you are, the less muscle you have to put on for you to actually see a difference. I'm not going to get too technical here, but another reason you don't want to go over 15 or 20% body fat when bulking is because of protein synthesis. When you're over a certain body fat percentage, you're not as insulin sensitive, so you're not synthesizing protein as well as you would like to, which in turn means you're going to build less muscle if you have more body fat. Tip number 5 is get as lean as you need to be first before you bulk. And also I need to talk about mini bulking and mini cutting versus going for a big bulk over maybe 6 months or a year. The traditional way of bulking is we bulk for 6 to 12 months. The problem with this is specifically for people and designed for people that are doing bodybuilding competitions. For me and for almost all of you watching this video right now, you're not competing in a bodybuilding competition and you don't want to. You just want to look better, build more muscle and improve your overall physique. If that's the case, I recommend doing a mini bulk. The reason is because we want to be in shape all year round. People who bulk for 6 months get out of shape. It's why you see bodybuilders wearing hoodies a lot of the time, because they're out of shape. They've got fat, they've gained a lot of body fat to build all of this muscle, and then the second half of the year they cut all of the body fat away. You will build more muscle by doing this, but the problem is you're going to be out of shape for most of the year. So like I said, I want to be in shape all year round, and I'm guessing that you do as well. You want to have abs, you want to be in shape all year round. You don't want to be fat half the year and in shape half the year. If that is you, then I want you to do what's called a mini bulk. So what I do is bulk from anywhere between 3 and 4 weeks up to 3 months. So if you're going to do 3 to 4 weeks, aim to just put maybe 3 pounds of total body weight on. If you're going to do it for 3 months, maybe aim for 2 pounds a month, so you'd gain 6 pounds in 3 months. Obviously, you're looking at 2 pounds of muscle there, maybe 4 pounds of body fat. And then this video is not about cutting, but then you would do maybe a 2-week cut to remove the 4 pounds of body fat that you didn't want. So let's say you did 3 months of bulking, 2 weeks of cutting, so that's 5 weeks in total. At the end of the 5 weeks, the idea is you put 6 pounds on, you put 2 pounds of muscle on, you've got an extra 4 pounds of fat. Then what you do is for 2 weeks you'll cut the fat away, and now you've lost the 4 pounds. So at the start of the 5 weeks you're at the same body fat that you was at then, but now you have an extra 2 pounds of muscle. That's the idea of it. I also don't like the big bulks, because the problem is with them, you might put 10 pounds of muscle on in that 6 months or in that year that you're training for. The problem is you're going to put 20 pounds of body fat on, which means you're going to have to spend multiple months getting rid of that, which means being in a calorie deficit, which means losing some of that muscle, and it also means at the end of it you're being that restrictive. It does create a lot of eating disorders and problems down the line. Tip number 4, and another way to stay lean while bulking, is we all know that you have to be in a calorie surplus to gain weight, to gain muscle mass, which means eating above your maintenance calories. Your maintenance calories are basically the calories you eat per day, where you don't gain any weight and you don't lose any weight. So anything over those maintenance calories means we're going to gain weight, we're going to gain body fat and muscle mass. What I recommend doing is, instead of bumping the calories way over your maintenance, causing you to gain loads of body fat, is just bump the calories up slightly above maintenance. So 200 to 500 calories above maintenance. I recommend starting out at the lower end. So just put maybe 250 calories onto what you eat when you're not gaining or losing any weight, and weigh yourself every week and see where that weight is at the end of the week. So if you've gained, let's say, half a pound in that week, you might be very happy with that. That means you've gained half a pound, you have potential to build muscle there. If you've gained 4 pounds, that's clearly way too much, and you need to reduce those calories. And if you've gained nothing, that obviously means you need to up the calories a little bit more. There is no point in going over that amount, because if you're eating 1,000 calories over your maintenance calories, let's say your maintenance calories are 3,000 and you're eating 4,000 calories a day, your body is only capable of building so much muscle per month. So there's no point in gaining 20 pounds in a month, because you might only still gain 1 or 2 pounds absolute maximum. If you don't know how many calories to eat per day, a good calculation is 15 to 18, so anywhere in that range, choose a number. You might want to start out at 15, that's where I recommend, and if that doesn't work for you, if you don't gain weight, you can go 16, 17, 18, even up to 20 for some people in rare circumstances, and multiply that by your body weight in pounds. So let's say you weigh 150 pounds, times that by 15, and then that's how many calories you should aim to eat each day. I'm going to throw this in as a power tip, so this is still part of the same tip here, and that is protein. We have to discuss protein. If you want to build muscle and stay lean, you have to eat more protein. You need to be eating about 1 gram per pound of body weight. So again, if you weigh 150 pounds, 150 grams of protein per day. You can go slightly lower than that. You can go 0.8 or 0.6 at the absolute lowest, but again, I don't recommend that. Tip number 3, so diet is always number 1. You hear people say diet is 80%, 90% of everything you do. That's true, especially when it comes to fat loss. However, when it comes to muscle building, training is more important than your nutrition. Nutrition is always important, but training is your focus. Every single set, you need to be going into the gym and focusing on the set and feeling the muscle, squeezing the muscle, letting the muscle stretch out in its entirety, and making sure you're using a full range of motion and really feeling each set. And at the end of each set, you need to be asking yourself, did I focus? Did I do everything I could to make that muscle grow? This training will also obviously burn calories, which will help you to stay lean. Because remember, bigger muscles require more calories and more nutrients each day. My tip number 2 is actually implementing intermittent fasting, which is commonly known as actually a weight loss tool. I have a video on intermittent fasting if you want to watch that after this one. But intermittent fasting can be very, very helpful when bulking to help you stay lean. What's brilliant about intermittent fasting is not only won't you be eating calories for that first portion of the day, which obviously will help you burn body fat and stay lean, but also you have a massive spike in growth hormone whilst you're fasting. Which one preserves muscle mass, so you will not lose any muscle whilst in this state, because growth hormone is muscle sparing and will prevent the breakdown of muscle tissue. Also, this extra growth hormone spike will help you build more muscle. What you can do if you don't want to do a full fast is just push your breakfast back by maybe 2 to 4 hours into the day. So wake up in the morning, do everything you normally do, and instead of getting up and going straight downstairs and eating breakfast, just push that back for maybe 2 to 4 hours, just so that you've got that extra little bit of time to burn some body fat. Also, in that time, I always recommend doing this. Go for a 30-minute walk. You'll be surprised at how much that helps you to stay lean by in the morning waking up, putting some clothes on and just going for a 30-minute walk. My number one tip, and after this I'm going to show you a workout plan that you can follow wherever you're at, so stay for that, is genetics. Now, genetics are something that are very annoying, especially for me. I do not have good genetics for muscle building. Your genetics will have an impact on how fast you can build muscle. That is the truth of it. However, the reality is you can't control that. The fact of the matter is every single person on planet Earth can build muscle. So it doesn't matter what your genetics are. It doesn't matter what your muscle building genetics are. That's totally irrelevant. We can't control that. That's just the way you're born, and that will never change. But what we can control is work ethic, consistency. You can control if you go to the gym every time you're supposed to go. The way I see it, and the way I've always looked at it, not having the best genetics myself, is if you've got person A who has incredible genetics and person B like myself that has very average genetics or even poor genetics, a lot of people might say, who's going to gain more muscle? Person with the good genetics that goes to the gym once every 3 weeks, or the person that goes every single day with bad genetics? The point of this lesson is you can control your work ethic and your consistency, and that will help you build muscle regardless of what genetics you've been born with. You might not be able to see me that good, but you guys can hear me. So as promised, like I said, I want to just show you something that you can use to get started with a training program, whether you're a beginner or a little bit more advanced. So what I've got here is just the chest, back, shoulders, arms and legs. The full body workout, so you would do this on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday, or if it suits you better you might do Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. You can decide whichever way you like. This only allows you to go to the gym 3 days per week, which is brilliant for people who are beginners, but also people that have been training for a long time. Full body workouts have been proven to be better at building muscle than split routines, and you're doing more training frequency with the same amount of total sets per week. So what I've got here is for the chest, bench press and the incline press. I've got pull-ups and bent over barbell rows for the back. Shoulders is just the simple shoulder press with dumbbells. For the arms, I've got bicep curls and skull crushers, which you can do with dumbbells or you can use an easy curl bar. And for legs, because we cannot forget legs, we've got the Bulgarian split squats, or you can just do a regular squat if you'd prefer to do that. The sets for each exercise I've listed out right here, and the reps I would stick between about 6 and 10 reps. Now this is the plan I would use if you're a little more advanced, because that would be a total of, let's say, 18 sets per week for chest if you add these up. If you was doing this 3 days per week, so you would have 6 sets here for chest, as you can see, and that would add up to 18. Obviously 3 times 6 is 18 over the course of the week. What I would do if you're a beginner is just choose one exercise from these two. So let's say for chest you might go, right, I'm just going to do 3 sets of the bench press, and then you would go to back and say, okay, now I'm going to do 3 sets of pull-ups. Then I would still do your 4 sets of shoulder press. You can drop that down to 3 if you would prefer to do that if you're just starting out. And with arms I would actually do 3 sets opposed to 4 sets if you're just starting out. I would also do 3 sets for legs as well.